you're a long way from Summer Bay. Is it a bit cold here for you?
It's a bit cooler here, but it's been pretty cool in Summer Bay lately too.
And obviously in the back of this bus, it's quite a bit different to what you used to. What's this all about? What are you here for?
I'm going to be doing Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, the musical, at the Civic Theatre from the 14th of October for 4 weeks. It was here 8 years ago, I think, and sold out. My worry this time is that people will say, yeah, I'll book for that, I'll go and see that. But if they wait until word of mouth starts, because once people see it, they don't stop talking about it. It is a fantastically entertaining and good show. So don't wait until people are talking on the street. By then there'll be no tickets.
Yeah. The character you play, any similarities between him, yourself and Alf?
I'm not sure where I fit into that trifecta, but Bob the mechanic in Priscilla and Alf Stewart, Alf is probably a bit like Bob on steroids. Or to put it another way, Alf may consider voting for Donald Trump. Bob would definitely vote for Hillary Clinton, particularly if she was a bloke.
I've been asking around the newsroom, and there is obviously so many fans of the show, and one question that always comes up is, where is the city? Everyone seems to, when they leave the show or going away, they just go to the city.
Mate, if I told you, I'd have to shoot you. It's one of those things where I think, you know, I don't think you have to worry to that extent, but our writers or producers think, well, we don't want to offend Melbourne people, we don't want to offend Sydney people, we don't want to offend Brisbane people, or, you know, the various cities, so we just say goes to the city rather than saying goes to one or the other.
Yes. What would Alf think of, would he go and see the Priscilla stage show?
Look, I think he would, but he'd need to be, you know, convinced that it was okay. That, you know, I mean, it's 3 drag queens going from Sydney to Alice Springs, you know, on a pink bus. That'd be a bit out of Alf's sort of general sphere of activity. But what I can promise you is if Alf was talked into going, he would have the time. He would love it. The music is just fantastic. You know, the costumes are great. It's just the bus has everything on it that opens and shuts. You know, divas popping out of the roof singing and all sorts of stuff. It's when I did it in London, did it for 6 months there and then went back and did another 3 months when it was closing. And, you know, some nights early in the week, they'd say, oh, you know, it was almost like Alf and his mates had been dragged along by their wives, you know. Yeah. At the start of the show and early in the week, you'd think, oh, gee, they're a bit quiet tonight, you know. By half-time, they're, you know, right into it, and by full-time, they're on their feet. You know, it was a standing ovation every night. Well, every night that I've done, I did it for a couple of weeks in Sydney, and same thing. It is a really entertaining show.
I was thinking the journey that Bob goes on through the movie is quite similar to maybe some people that go and see the film, and that they start off being quite unfamiliar with that sort of thing and, you know, get educated along the way. Do you think that there's some similarities there? Maybe it helps educate people a little bit? Yeah,
I think it does. I think it you know, it opens people's eyes to think, well, you know, no difference between them and us, whatever that means, but they're all people. We all bleed if you cut us. We all have hopes, desires, you know. Everybody in the world's probably looking for love in some form or other, and yeah, I think it does do that. And because of that, I think you've kind of gathered quite a gay following, you know, because people love that someone like Alf, or, you know, is in this musical. Yeah, I don't know about that, but if that's a fact, well, that's great. Yeah. More bums on seats. Yeah. And do you find it weird that, you know, you're used to the Australian, kind of living in Australia and being celebrity there, but you're huge in New Zealand and the UK. Is that quite weird? Yeah, look, I'd never see it like that somehow. I mean, the word celebrity bothers me a bit. I think, you know, the Kardashians are celebrities. I'm just an actor who goes to work every day and have been lucky enough to be in a show that's quite popular. And it's really nice that New Zealanders watch the show and support it. That's absolutely fantastic. And the same in the UK, you know, it's yeah, it's humbling, really. You know, you go to somewhere on the other side of the world and people say, oh, good, you know, I think, oh, it's pretty nice. Yeah. One final question, something I've always thought about whenever I've visited, you know, Palm Beach, is
It's always sunny and beautiful and warm on Home and Away. What is it like filming when you're freezing cold and it's raining?
It's not a hell of a lot of fun. And often, you know, fortunately, my character is paid to keep his clothes on. The poor kids that have to sort of go in, and often if there's a new character, there'll be a girl in a bikini, and the scene requires her to come out of the beach or something, come out of the water onto the beach. And usually it's in the poor kid's first week, and it's usually filmed about this time of year, you know? And then they'll have to do 20 odd takes to get it just right because it's the first scene or something. Oh, you feel for them, because sometimes it really is quite cold, yeah.
Is it a little like tight family unit though, the cast?
Yes. Look, it depends on. Often in a regular cast of say 22, the kids always, you know, socialise a lot together, and obviously I love working with them. But nightclubs aren't my scene anymore. And, you know, doof music, yeah, you could leave me out of that. But, you know, I really enjoy their company. But some of the older actors who've been there for a little bit longer, like Ada Nicodemu, Georgie Parker, Emily Simons, those sort of people, yeah, you know. And so there aren't cliques, but there are people that spend more time in their company than others, if you like.